Hey guys, it's me again. So I'm not gonna lie, I never thought I'd be making another video. Um, but since I had my last dream, which was very vivid and very clear on God's message, I have been sent three other dreams, so four in total. Sorry. Um, and I haven't wanted to post them because, to be honest, I've been self-doubting, even though I know these aren't like any other dreams I've ever had in my life. Um, but I got a little message from, I guess, a little birdie that I should post more. And I don't know if that was God using somebody in my life that I don't know to tell me this or what, but I know what I'm supposed to do. And here goes. So I've had three dreams since my first one. And the first one, I'm going to try and make him all as short as possible. The first one, I was at my home and I was hosting a ballet recital / practice for my daughter. And my daughter is 8 years old, but for some reason in this dream, she was a little younger. So these little girls were coming with their families, and we were going to be hosting this little ballet recital in my living room. And this family comes in, and it's just a mom, a dad, and a little girl, pretty little, probably 3 or 4 years old. She's very shy, timid, like keeping to herself. But for some reason in my dream, I know her and I need to talk to her. So I come up and I say, hi, sweetie. I haven't seen you in a long time, even though I don't think I've ever seen her before. Her parents are way older. They're around, they gotta be in their 50s, maybe even 60s. And they are rough around the edges. Like the mom comes in with, you know, with her, they're just rough. Bottom line, they're rough in my dream. And the first thing she comes up and says to me, I go to introduce myself, is she's like, "Are you one of those crazy Christian people?" And I'm like, taken aback. And I'm like, well, I love Jesus and I love God, and they are part of my everyday life. Why? She's like, "You don't have any pictures of him in their house, do you?" And I'm like, "No, but I have crosses." And she's like, "What?" And she goes storming into my house, and I have random crosses throughout my house. She sees my big cross in my kitchen, which is like, 2 feet high, made out of driftwood kind of thing. And she just like screeches, and she's like, "Oh no, we are not staying here." And she's like, "You cannot stay here." And I don't even know the little girl's name. Grabs the little girl, and she's just screaming like, "No, mommy, please let me stay. No, I don't want to go with you. No, don't let her take me." And I'm just like heartbroken because I'm like, what is going on? So I'm trying to chase this lady. She's always like 20 steps ahead of me for some reason, though, in this small home. And I go into my kitchen, and my cross is shattered all over the floor. Like, just completely shattered. I didn't hear like a big bang or anything, but it's just everywhere, all over the floor. So I'm like, what is going on? So I run back out to get her, and she's grabbing the little girl, and they're leaving. Oh, sorry, pardon me. And it's winter outside, and she just gets into the car, and I can hear her screaming at the little girl, like, "You can't stay in that house." Oh, just horrible, horrible things to her. "Shut up!" Like, and then spanking her and beating her. And I'm just like heartbroken, standing on my porch, like about to call Child Protective Services or something. And I'm just like shocked, and I so confused. And of course, this lady leaves without her husband. The husband's in the living room, and he's in there. And just to give you a picture or a perspective of what he looks like, he's got all white hair pulled back into a long ponytail, and he kind of has like a Western getup on. And I look at him, I'm like, "Sir, I have to be honest with you. I don't understand what I did to upset her. What do you guys believe in so much that you can't be even in my home? And what did I do to offend her?" And he's like, well, do you know pastor blah blah blah? And he names a pastor of mine, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why? And he's like, he tried to give me advice once, but I didn't take it. And I'm like, okay, like that's not an answer. And then he's like, and he names a couple other people that I know in my life, and I'm like, what is going on? And some of them were children, and I was just very confused. And he's like, I've been pursuing all those people all my life. And he's like, and I'm like, what do you mean by that? You know what? Because I'm completely confused. He's like, well, I believe that in all things, do it with greed. I'm like, greed? And I'm like, you mean love? And he's like, no, I believe, and we believe, all things you do in life, do it out of greed. I'm like, well, that's not good. And I'm like, now I'm at this point, I'm like getting really creeped out, weirded out by this gentleman. And then he talks to me and he's like, well, do you know Ezekiel 6, chapter 6, 8 through 9? I'm like, no, not by heart. And that's all he says about it. I don't get anything out of that. And he's like, wow. And he kind of like caves in on himself, kind of like the dog did from my last dream. And then he pops his head up and he looks almost like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings. Demonic, red bloodshot eyes, pointy gnashing teeth, and he's smiling at me with the creepiest smile ever. I get tingles all over my body, and I wake up. And I wake up in tingles still. And that's my dream. So that wasn't really a rapture dream. I understand that. But something was really weird. It had some kind of demonic being or something. I don't know. I did look up Ezekiel 6, 8 through 9. And the title of it was Idolatrous Israel. And it was talking about how Israel had basically turned its back on God, and a lot more detail. Obviously, you can look it up. And I did not understand what this dream really meant. I mean, the shattered cross, the creepy person. I don't know if it just means dark forces are trying to penetrate our lives or what. I don't know. That was my second dream. Sorry, guys. It's a long video. Third dream. This one was definitely a rapture dream. I was back in my childhood home. And this one I'm just going to keep really short because I can barely remember it. Because it was such a short dream. But long story is my husband was trying to pull down some trees at our childhood home. These ginormous trees, mind you, like 100 feet in the air. And he was trying to pull them down with my flex, which wasn't working well. And with this one, long story short, all of a sudden it was dark. I was playing around in the field with the kids, and all of a sudden there was bright lights, and Jesus was up in the sky. And I knew we were being raptured out or something. And I was like, kids, look, it's Jesus. And that was really it. But again, I woke up with tingles covering me. And that one I know was a super short dream. Then my fourth dream was pretty in-depth, like the first, in a way. Still short. But in that dream, I was talking with my boss, one of my bosses. And we were kind of talking about the gospel and Jesus and stuff like that, and our viewpoints. And all of a sudden, and mind you, all of a sudden, there was a huge earthquake. And the floors were shaking and rolling, like literally rolling. And for some reason, my workplace was right near, like located at my house. And I knew my kids were outside playing at the park. And I wanted to go and get them because after what just happened, I was freaking out. And I ran outside and it was like almost like it was still rumbling all over the ground. Earthquake was shaking everything. And I remember it was like the sun and the moon were coming together. And it's crazy that all of this all happened before the earthquakes, mind you. This dream was like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. It happened before all these earthquakes happening in California. It happened before the South American total eclipse, all that jazz. And yeah. And so I know people will be like, oh, you're just having these dreams because that happened. It's like, no, this happened a few weeks ago. So I haven't had these dreams in at least 2 or 3 weeks, was the last one. But then I look over and it's like dead silent. I remember it being like dead silent. And there were tons of people outside because everybody was so confused at what was going on. And I looked over on the horizon and there was an eclipse going on, like the sun and the moon, and it was like pitch black, super creepy, but there was still light. It was still light out, almost like twilight. And there was loud, like, somebody was speaking, and I don't know what they were saying, but they were speaking and everybody could hear it, like, and there was a loud, like, booming, and then all of us, and then I'm, like, everybody started freaking out and panicking, and I'm looking for my kids and I can't find them. I think I found my daughter and I sent her inside, but then I can't find my son, which is typical because he's always hiding on me. And we end up, like, all of a sudden we're starting to float away. And there's people still down on the ground, not floating away. And I start yelling at them. I'm like, it's the rapture. Believe in Jesus. He is real. And I'm screaming this as literally hundreds of people are floating away into the clouds. And then I wake up. So that was my dream. Dreams, plural. I know that's really short compared to that other one, or all these were really short. Oh, and again, with this last one, of course, tingles all over my body. Every single one of these dreams, I wake up and tingles, and I don't understand why, but I know it's not normal, and it only happens when I have these kind of dreams. I'm totally open to anybody's interpretation on any of these. I know that God and Jesus are coming for his church. I know that I love him, and I know he's trying to wake up this world and trying to get people to see, because he doesn't want us to be left. He wants the more the merrier. I think is God's mentality in that aspect. You know, he loves us all and we're all his children, and he just wants you to reach out to him. He has the perfect gift for you, and that gift is forgiveness for sins. He died on the cross for our sins, but you have to accept Jesus to receive that gift. So I'm just telling you, if you haven't, you need to, like I've said before, find him, pick up a Bible, download an app. There is so much hope and love and compassion in Christ. So much. And there's truly nothing more loving and compassionate, and he is seeking you out every moment of every day. And we who do believe want you to be a part of that and want you to see that and want you to know that kind of love, because it's so beautiful. It's like, I don't know, I always reference foods, but it's like, no, you live on an island and nobody's ate chocolate, and finally somebody has chocolate, and there's tons and tons and tons of chocolate in this secret place, but you gotta try it. I know that's a horrible analogy, guys. I love chocolate, as you can tell. I'm just trying to say that, you know, you need to find them, and you need to find them soon, because God is trying to wake up this world. That's all I really have to say. And yeah, God bless. Love you guys.